everyone, my name's Polly and I've been studying psychology at the University of Manchester and I've graduated with a first class degree. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my expectations and experience of studying psychology at the University of Manchester and how I feel now that I've graduated. So the first question, what did I think it would be like to study psychology at the university? I think for me, I had finished college, so a lot of my expectations were really led by what I had learned at A-level studying psychology. I thought it would be much more these kind of reductionism versus determinism debates, and I hadn't anticipated just how broad psychology could be. I hadn't also appreciated the value of stats and understood why it was so fundamental within psychology. So how did I find it at first, and was it different to A-levels? In short, yes. It has to be different to A-levels. At A-level study, I feel as though there was kind of a line, and this was all you needed to know. Moving on to undergraduate, you go well beyond that line and you become the expert in the field. There's no question left unanswered or that the lecturer will say, look, you don't need to know that. The learning was also different. The types of coursework that we were getting, often at A-levels it was 3, 6, 12, 24 mark questions. Next, which elements of the course did I find most interesting and why? I think for me, I've always been into clinical psychology, and it's something which I have developed a further interest for at undergraduate level with going into the topics in so much more depth and from different directions. For instance, in mental health, we look not only at the conditions themselves, how this might present distress, interventions, individual differences, and such a broader field of clinical psychology and where it began, where it is now, how it's developed to get there. I think there is a lot of areas really that have been really interesting. Health psychology, something that I especially found interesting within final year when we were doing applications of how we could develop an intervention to make a change for a health related behaviour. Surprisingly, I found stats quite interesting, and hold there because I was definitely no statistician starting this. I came in from GCSE with a B in maths, and in first year, definitely first semester, I was, I can't do this, I can't do this. But the more I really challenged myself and worked at it, and I remember going through books and doing bits of revision, and there's little quizzes that we have, I became really engaged in it. And that knowledge helped me in final year when I was writing my dissertation. I think it's important to say that over the course of your 3 years, you touch on so much of so many different things, and in second year and especially final year you can adapt your modules to ensure that you're learning what it is that you're interested about. Additionally, we do USIL courses at the University of Manchester, which is interdisciplinary courses where you can learn a few units that aren't necessarily psychology based. I learned British Sign Language, Communicating with Confidence, Bioethics and a leadership course which was held online, and they were all really valuable to kind of mix things up, and I enjoyed them a lot. What placement did I do for the course, and did I find it useful? Unfortunately for me in my second year, I broke my foot, which was quite a difficult time, especially with commuting. I commuted over 50 miles to university, so it was definitely challenging to say the least. Unfortunately, the placements which I had planned, which the university had given me access to through the opportunities that they were posting, fell through with not being able to get there. I did, however, continue to do my placement, my 40-hour short work placement over the summer holidays, and it was widening participation. I worked closely with a senior member of staff. I also looked at developing peer mentor schemes and providing resources so that people really understood what was going on with what the university offered. But I think this is really important. When I had applied for the course, I had expected that I would go away for a year abroad and it would be amazing, and that when I was at university I would live in halls, both of which didn't end up happening, but that was fine because that was what was right for me. And I think you'll learn over the period of the course what is right for you, and whether you want to take that year out and get that hands-on experience, or whether you want to just continue through for your 3 years. But either way, experience is valuable. When it comes to where I am now, employees are constantly looking at, well, what experience do you have beyond that kind of academic knowledge that the course sets you up with? So volunteering and taking on any other extracurricular activities is something that I would highly, highly advise. So what career am I looking forward to? Things haven't changed for me, and I'm still really energised by the prospect of working in clinical psychology. I aspire to get onto the clinical psychology doctorate one day, but whether that will happen or not, and whether life will lead me down a different path, I don't know. But that's where I am at the moment, so I'm looking to get hands-on working experience. At the moment I am going through training as a residential childcare support worker, so I will be working in care homes with children with behavioural and emotional difficulties aged between 11 to 16. I've also applied for my Masters, which I'm waiting to hear back from, which is Clinical and Health Psychology at the University of Manchester. And so yeah, that's hopefully what the next year holds for me. So I hope this video has been helpful for you, and I look forward to your future experiences at the University of Manchester, going through the steps that I've now came out the other side of. You have a great set of staff and you have a great course, and I think my advice would just be, if you've got any problems, just ask. The staff are so receptive to any kind of queries or issues or anything that you're really finding confusing. I think make the most of your time at the university, volunteer, step up and lead, and yeah, just make it a really valuable, memorable experience for you. And despite this maybe not being the most conventional way to start university, as it definitely wasn't for me ending it, maybe being conventional isn't always that great. So enjoy your time at the university. Thank you.